Milan, can we start?
Farzana madam, we are live on YouTube and Zoom. You can start now. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening to all the viewers. Welcome to our webinar, A Peep into a Day at MBIS. MBIS, because that's become an acronym which is so popular with all of us, the Maina Devi Bajaj International School. As it is said by W.B. Yeats, education is not the filling of a pot, but the lighting of a fire. So we at MBIS, our teachers, our management, everybody works very hard. And why are our teachers facilitators? Because they want to empower students to develop skills needed for the 21st century. So today, you will see a sample of what we do in all our classrooms, from nursery to grade 5. As it is said, spoon feeding in the long run teaches us nothing but the shape of a spoon. So professional development is the key, and our teachers are trained into the inquiry mode of teaching and learning on an ongoing basis, which you shall see when we show you the Peep into a Day at MBIS. So let me introduce the experienced educators who believe that to teach is to learn twice. Let me begin with our early years and primary school coordinator, Mrs. Priya Natraj.
Good evening, everyone. As ma'am introduced, I'm the early years and primary coordinator. Today, I would be taking you all through our 5 core values of MBIS. Thank you, ma'am.
She is a postgraduate and has done her B.Ed as well as the Cambridge International Teachers Training. She is passionate about education and a very dedicated coordinator with excellent interpersonal communication and team management skills. So welcome to the webinar, Priya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next speaker today is Miss Annie.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Annie Jacob is a teacher by choice and not by chance. She has 25 plus years of teaching experience and has been with the MBIS school since I think it's over 10 years. So a trained teacher who has worked overseas as well as in India. Our third speaker is Mrs. Prerna Shelar. She is a graduate and she has also done her Cambridge International Teachers Training. She has 11 years of experience and this is her 7th year at MBIS. As a teacher, she believes in working hard to help her students learn and develop the necessary skills to transform their education with collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. Prerna, would you like to say hello?
Good evening, everyone. Today I will give you all a sneak peek as to how we make math enjoyable for our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Prerna. Our fourth speaker is Mrs. Georgina Pinto. She's a graduate and has done her ECCED course. She has 7 years of teaching experience, of which the last 4 years has been at MBIS. Presently, she is the homeroom teacher for junior KG. She is a committed and an enthusiastic early years facilitator. Our last but not the least speaker, Mrs. Lutheran Raj. Nutan, would you like to? Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. It's a pleasure, parents, to be interacting with you and a pleasure to be working with MBIS. Thank you so much, Farzana ma'am, for having me around.
Nutan, though is a postgraduate, drama is what actually makes her heart beat. She's been working with the Helen O'Grady Institute and also works very closely with MBIS students across all grades. And she today will share with us how drama is taught at MBIS. Oops, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Farzana Dohadwala. I was the IB rep for over 17 years for South Asia. I'm a passionate international educator and also the academic advisor at Maina Devi Bajaj International School. So you see, parents and friends, we have a great lineup of speakers today who will help you understand what makes us as a school and our whole school community so well connected and collaborative, be it academics, be it sports, or be it co-curricular activities. So without much ado, I would like to invite Mrs. Georgina to share what we do in our early years classroom. Over to you, Georgina.
Good evening, everyone. I will be giving you one of the example on how I introduce literacy and numeracy in my junior KG class. Now, in early years, every day is a new day with students entering the class with different emotions. So we have toys which are displayed for them so that they can play and settle themselves. After that, we have a show and tell activity which students look up to as they talk about their favorite toy. When it comes to introduction of a particular topic, the most important objective of a teacher is to draw the attention of all the students. So the introduction happens in the form of story, rhyme, tracing, and games. We use a lot of manipulators for the development of their gross and fine motor skills. We also do Lego as a part of our learning, as students in a fun and play way are able to form letters, numbers, and they create a new world with their own imagination, which most of the time is out of the box. Now, I will show you one of the methods that we used to introduce a number followed by backward counting rhyme. Here is my magic box, and let's see what comes out of the magic box. But before that, we have to say, abracadabra, gilly gilly, choo. Wow, I can see a sheep. Let's count them and see how many they are. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we are learning the number 4. Now let's say a rhyme on backward counting with the number 4. 4 little sheep jumping on the well. One fell down and broke his head. Mama called the doctor. Doctor said, no more sheep jumping on the bed. 3 little sheep jumping on the bed. One fell down and broke his head. Mama called the doctor. Doctor said, no more sheep jumping on the bed. 2 little sheep jumping on the bed. One fell down and broke his head. Mama called the doctor. Doctor said, no more sheep jumping on the bed. 1 little sheep jumping on the bed. One fell down and broke his head. Mama called the doctor. Doctor said, no more sheep jumping on the bed. Now, this is how we do the backward counting on the number 4.
So now, friends, as you see, what Georgina did was a fun way to introduce numbers. I'm sure children love puppets, they love animals. So it's this combination together which Georgina tries to use in her class to make learning fun-filled. For us, whether it's blended learning, now with the new normal, we've been doing online classes, but our children are not bored. Even the 30 minutes of time that we give them on Google Meet, they really wait for those times. So Georgina, over to you for the next bit.
Thank you, ma'am. Now let me introduce you with the letter S with the story Sandy the Sheep. Once upon a time, Sandy the sheep was playing in a garden. It suddenly fell into a muddy puddle. He looked for water here and there, but he couldn't find any. However, he found a bucket with the letter S. So he took the bucket with the letter S and began his search for water. It was a very sunny day. He looked up at the sun and he saw that the sun was laughing at him. However, that did not give up his search for water. He continued his walk, and now he could hear a hissing sound. And to his surprise, he saw a snake. And now he wondered, how can I avoid the snake? So he thought of an idea. He said, hi, snake, hi, snake, hi, snake, and began to move forward. It was almost an hour that Sandy the sheep was searching for water, and he couldn't find any. He began to feel hungry. He was walking, and suddenly he found few strawberries fallen on the ground. So he began eating them and gobbled them all. He reached a well with the letter S. So he took the water from the well and cleaned himself. Now, that was the day which Sandy the sheep will always remember, as he saw S for sun, S for strawberry, and S for snake. Thank you.
Wow, that was really cool, and so much like I remember what Albert Einstein, when I read somewhere, had said, play is the highest form of research. So teaching them in this playway method is so awesome. So what I would want to ask you is a question, dear. And how do you as a teacher introduce play into your everyday learning? And why do you think it's so important?
Play is an important part of the child's early development. It teaches the children about the communication, and most important, it develops their gross motor and fine motor skills. So that is why most of the activities that we do is basically in a fun way method with games. For example, if we have to introduce a letter, we do the tracing on the back, and I ask them to identify which is the letter. So these are many ways that we use to introduce a letter.
Thank you so much, Georgina.
Thank you.
That was awesome. You truly proved the statement that a true teacher takes a hand, opens a mind, and touches the heart. Before you pass, um, uh, please stay back because we may have some questions for you at the end of the session.
Yes.
So now over to you, Miss Prerna. She is our maths facilitator and will share some learnings of how we do maths at MBIS Primary.
Thank you, ma'am. At MBIS, we believe in facilitating learning process through transdisciplinary approach to create a holistic development in our students. Math is integrated with different subjects and real-life situations using hands-on activities. Now, why do we do so? The integration of math into other subjects makes students think about the real world, which is a goal of our learning process. It gives them a practical approach to learning and using mathematics in real life situations. In mental math, we use different strategies so that the students can calculate faster using such strategies in a fun way. I will show you one such strategy now. Can I have the PPT, please? Now, as kids, we remember we all loved the tables of 1, 9, and 10. That was because we were taught some interesting strategies to calculate these tables faster. Similarly, I will show you one interesting strategy of 11 times table with 2 digits. Now, this is a long multiplication method, as we all are aware of. And the multiplication statement over here is 23 multiplied by 11, and the product of which is 253. Can I have the next slide? Now, the same multiplication statement, 23 multiplied by 11, in the Mendel math strategy, I would show you all. Just look at the number 23 over here. The number in the tens place, that is 2, write it as it is. Now, add the numbers internally. 2 plus 3, that is 5. Now, write the number in the ones place, 3 as it is. So answer, the product of 23 multiplied by 11 is 253. Very easy, isn't it? Now, let's have a look at another example, 34 multiplied by 11. The number in the tens place is 3. So write the number as it is. Now add the numbers internally. So 3 plus 4 is 7. Now write the number in the ones place as it is. That's 4. So the product of 34 multiplied by 11 is 374. Now in these examples, if we see, on adding the numbers internally, we get the sum or the answer in one digit. Now let us have another example wherein while on adding the numbers internally, we get the answer or sum in 2 digits. That is 84 multiplied by 11. So write the number 8 as it is. Now the number in the ones place, that is 4, write it as it is. Now in between 8 and 4, there is a very small room left for only one digit. And 8 plus 4 is 12. So what do? We write 2 and we carry forward 1. So 1 is carried forward and the answer of 84 multiplied by 11 is 924. So isn't it a very interesting and easy way of learning tables? Regular practice of these strategies enable students to calculate bigger numbers accurately and easily. This is how we normally we show these type of mental math strategies while teaching mental math. Yes, ma'am. These type of strategies are normally taught while teaching mental math in school.
Prerna, when we were discussing earlier before the session started, you were telling me a lot about transdisciplinary learning that you practice in your classes. So
yes.
Could you share something with maybe an example for the viewers to understand this better?
Yes, sure. In math, I would share one example. In math, the topic bar graph was integrated with the science topic food. Now, when we were studying healthy diet, we made a big chart on food items, and every student was asked to vote for their favorite food. Then later we gathered this data and converted into a bar graph and analyzed it. If as a class, we were actually eating more healthy or unhealthy food. So thus math and science was integrated seamlessly.
Wow, that's awesome. Such deep learning in such a fun way. Mathematics is not, Prerna, only about numbers, equations, computations, or algorithms. It's about understanding. And that is what we aim to achieve at MBIS. And that's where we do not want any child to ever be afraid of maths or afraid of the maths teacher, because maths at MBIS is so much, so it's taught with so much fun.
Yes, yes.
So isn't that true, Prerna?
Yes, true. It's true. It's true. It's yeah.
We use Lego blocks to teach. We use manipulatives to teach. So every day it's a new learning engagement which these teachers plan for their children. So just to share something with you all, we had this one child who was running temperature and was in school. So Priya asked this child that, why are you in school? You're not well. Thankfully, it was not the COVID-19 times. Otherwise, Priya would have worn the mask and shunned the child immediately away. So the child said, Miss, today our teacher has promised to do a very interesting engagement in maths, and I don't want to miss it. So I will attend that class and then I will go. So see the enthusiasm that kids don't want to. Usually you have children crying to get up, especially the primary and the pre-primary babies, not to come to school. But here, because of the teaching learning strategies that we use in class, that our children love our school. So now could I request Ms. Nutan to share her perspectives of the why, what and how of drama. Over to you, Ms. Nutan.
Thank you, Farzana ma'am. So, dear parents, are we all ready for some enactment? No drama can happen without enactment. Yes. So here we go. I will just take you through first about the learning of the program, and through the process, I will also show you certain activities that are done in the class through different age groups. So firstly, we need to understand that drama is a methodology for us to conduct the activities in the class. So we are an edu-drama academy where drama in education is the methodology. So what we actually mean by drama in education, let me come to that now. So as everybody's, as some people have talked about, how you use puppets, how we use mental maths, and in some places there is dance also used, there is music also used. So drama incorporates everything. It has enactment, which is role play, structured scene enactment. It also has voice exercises, because that is what drama is about. That is what we do in an acting class. So drama is also acting. That is one part of drama. We also have movement sections. Movement sections, as Georgina ma'am has just said, enhances the fine motor skills and the gross motor skills of children. It also makes the children aware. For us at Helen O'Grady International, awareness is at the top. So unless we are aware of what I'm thinking, what I'm speaking, and how I'm speaking it, and what is my body language saying, I cannot either change or improve or make effective communication. So it's all about effective communication. So we work on all these skills in our personality to make ourselves a holistic development, as Ms. Prerna has just told you about, right? So now let me come to the different age groups that we have here. So as I was telling you about awareness, once the mind is aware, what I need to change, I will change. So we make the children in all age groups aware of the good vocal skills, that is vocal delivery. Also about body awareness. So what my head is doing. I can see myself in the camera, so I can adjust my head, right? But when I'm in a class, I can't see me. Or when you are talking to anybody, you can't see yourself, right? You don't have a mirror in front of you. The mirror is the eyes of the audience. That could be one person, that could be 100 people. And they are watching you like the camera is watching us right now, right? So we need to be aware how my head is, where am I looking? Do I have a frown? Do I have a smile on my face, or is it stressed and, oh, I don't know what I'm saying, or I don't know what I'm doing? So the face is a very, very, very important part of expressions. And we all know we can't hide our face. We can cover ourselves with clothes. We can wear something on our head to cover our head, but our face cannot be hidden. So we teach our children in our classes facial expressions. This is one part of what we teach. In the little ones, that is my Kindi class, we call it Kindi. So the pre-primary, which is my junior senior KG, we call it Kindi in our curriculum. In that, there is lot of role play and situational drama. It is, I'm sure anybody who's an educator would know that it is researched worldwide right now that drama, experiential learning, situational enactment is the best medium to learn a second language. And India, all the primary children are improving upon the English language fluency. So through role play, through enactment, the children learn to focus their thoughts on a particular situation, if I tell them, all right, now you are a policeman, right? And you are out on the road and you are minding the traffic. So they will immediately take the role of a policeman. They will automatically stand up, becomes erect, because policeman ideally is supposed to be standing straight, though it's not always that if you go into reality. But that is the perception that all of us had when we were small, right? That the policemen have to be straight and strong, and yes, strong and good body gestures. So immediately the children take up this role play of a policeman and they start thinking like a policeman. And they start behaving like a policeman. And they start speaking. So here comes my learning of words in English, and the language fluency and the vocabulary increases. This happens for every age group. In the Kindi, it's a simpler way of role play. Ours is a progressive scale of learning program. In lower primary, which is the grade 1, 2, 3, 4, we go into more difficult situations where they have to imagine much more. So they could be on the space shuttle and they're looking down on Earth. And what do they see? Oh my God, Earth is so, so, so beautiful. So they are visualizing, they are becoming an astronaut. A child may actually want to become an astronaut. So this is again, maybe, we are sowing the seeds of somebody wanting to aspire to become an astronaut. We don't know where the children lead, what leads them to grow up into what. So these are the kind of situations that we do. The next very, very, very important part, another important part, is the voice, the vocal skill. So we have, let me just say this little dialogue. Come on, hurry up. It's not my turn. I fed the cat last night. Okay. This is, I'm just saying it. It's not my turn. I fed the cat last night. It's such a monotone. So my graph, if when you see a heartbeat, your heartbeat, the graph goes up and down, right? Same thing happens to our voice. It should happen to our voice. It should go up. It should go down. So if I have a X, this is the X axis, this is the Y axis, right? We all have learned geometry when we were younger. So on the X axis, if I have my voice graph, it should go up. It should even go below minus, and then it should come up. It should go really down, so it goes into minus, and then up, then really up, and then go down, down, down. So that is what is voice modulation. And that is what we try to make our children aware. I said awareness is the big word. So we make the children aware of these nuances, which they should use in their class. So when I said, it's not my turn, we will tell the children, okay, now you are telling this to your mom and you're pleading. You were saying, Mom, it's not my turn. I fed the cat last night. And now you are saying this to your sibling. Okay, who's younger to you? And now you are angry. You will say, it's not my turn. I fed the cat last night. So do you realize? By adding voice modulation, by adding pace. So I did not go continuously. I gave a break to my sentence. Even now when I'm speaking, notice the pauses. Notice the stress on certain words. Notice the pace that I'm speaking in. So I am taking my time to say every single word so that my conversation is effective to you. Right now, I'm doing a one-way conversation, right? It's a one-way traffic where I'm speaking and all of you are listening. So if I don't use these technologies, I will be boring and you will switch off. Same thing the children need to learn. And right from the kindy, right from junior KG. And parents, if we inculcate this right when they are small, they will be fantastic when they are, and this is expressions. Expressions are a very, very important part of growing up. It teaches us how to emote. It teaches us how to express our thoughts into words. The next comes my movement skills. So this is the same thing that Georgina and everyone is talking about, fine and gross motor skills. So I'm not going to elaborate on that. But we have 4 awarenesses in drama, in theater, in acting, which we involve in our classes. So body awareness, weight awareness, space awareness, and time awareness. How much time it takes to do an action, how much space is around us to use our body effectively. So if I'm going for an interview, how should I appear? How do I use my hands, my gestures to impress the person I'm talking to? When you are answering in the class, you need to impress the teacher, right? Yes. And yes, you need to impress your teacher. So you need to have very good body language and you need to have very good facial expressions. And yes, the words are very important. So this is movement. For higher grades, these are my 6th, 7th, 8th grade. We have lots of activities which are pairing and individual and class activities. We do it through monologues, duologues. We go to Shakespeare and we take soliloquies from there. We take excerpts from classics. We do Oliver Twist. So these are many, many classics that we cover during the course of the whole academic year. We focus a lot on poem recitation also. So again, it's to be expressed, all about expressions. So we teach them all this space, this pause, put yourself in the poet's shoes and recite it as the poet is thinking and writing. So his feelings have to come across, not yours. So that is one thing about poem. And then we also, yes, most very important thing through all this, what are we trying to achieve? The 21st century life skills, which is about collaboration, confidence building, creative thinking. Then we have critical thinking, leadership skills, public speaking modules. We also have teaching of life skills, how you need to sympathize and empathize. Both are different terms. and both have a different meaning. And our children need to learn both. So unless you empathize with people, you cannot sympathize. So sympathize sometimes becomes negative, but empathy is always positive, because then you put yourself in the other person's shoes and you try to befriend and try to solve the problem together. So problem solving is very important part of our program. So this is in gist. I can go on for hours about the program because the learning is just so much. But in a gist, this is what it is. And yes, impromptu thinking. So if I ask all of you, you were supposed to attend this webinar. And suppose you just can't get the link in and you can't join. What would you do? I'm hoping to get some answers. Yes, I'm sure all of you are thinking, what all will you do? So will you call up the school? One option. So this is parallel thinking. There are every problem, every question, we teach our children to think. Every question should have 10 answers or something. You can't just think of one answer and that is it. I've given my answer, ma'am. That's it. That my mind is closed. No, your mind can't close. Your mind is very creative and intelligent. So will you call up the school? Will you call up the teacher you know, or maybe call another parent and figure out how did you enter and so I can enter, maybe go and switch off your Wi-Fi again and again. So there can be so many options. This is my impromptu thinking skills. And this really enhances the children's creativity and critical thinking skills. So Farzana ma'am, more or less, this is what there is. I can go on, but I know there's time constraint. So let me know what you would want me to say next or any question that you have for me.
That was really lovely, Miss Nuthan. Hope I could get into a time machine and rewind the clock so I could attend your classes, you know.
You can. There is a youth theatre class. You're most welcome to attend our youth theatre class.
Oh, lovely. I think my children must be having a whale of a time in all your drama classes.
They are.
And, you know, when we talk about UN Sustainable Goals, as a school at MBIS, we are very much focused on the UN Sustainable Goals because we want to develop those as habits and way of life for our children. And I think drama is such a super way. So the arts is the best way to bring in UN Sustainable Goals. I'm sure some of the viewers may have come for our art exhibition, which was based on the UN goal of sustainability. And our children's creativity went to the next level. So I am sure the arts, you're speaking only for drama, but our art program, our music program, you know, all of it is so fantastic that it really nurtures the child and helps in developing these 21st century skills. So thank you very much. I have just one question for you. How would you spoke about life skills. I'm picking that point up. So how would you teach life skills in early years now during lockdown? Because you all do these online sessions, blended learning sessions. So what would you do?
So ma'am, life skills is how we learn to cope with different situations in life. So the first important part is cooperation and collaboration. So when you are doing, and empathizing is the another word that I use. So if we are all in the home right now, right, and mom is working and we all need to help out. So I know that I'm doing that in my home also. So we just put music on and everybody starts, either somebody is either cooking or somebody is doing the jhadu pocha or whatever, and they are, so it's a collaborative medium. And we also, this way you encourage each other in doing things, and always in a fun way. Drama is always fun. We are fortunately there in drama that we can enjoy every single moment, even if it could be the toughest chore. So I know on a regular day I would not like to do my jhadu pocha. Oh my God. But yes, now we are, because it has to be done. How do you make it best? So these are different enactment, different ideas that the children come up with on their own through the exercises that we do. And they give us these ideas that, ma'am, we can do it like this. We can do it like this. So life skills come throughout our exercises. They are taught continuously. And rapport building and collaboration, ma'am. Teamwork. Teamwork is a very important part of life skill.
Thank you so much for this very nice capsule on the arts. So I would now like to invite our next speaker, Miss Annie. She will share with us how English language is taught in our spiral curriculum in the primary classes. Over to you, Annie.
Thank you, ma'am. Just as Nutan ma'am just spoke, how she integrates thinking in her drama classes, I'm going to talk about how thinking skills is integrated in the English language classes. To many, it's $1 million question. Do English and language arts teachers have a special role in the teaching of thinking skills? How do concepts like language and writing relate to thinking skills? This is because it is generally assumed that an English teacher is only responsible for teaching sentence structure, grammar concepts, or composition form and style. However, I would like to say that all English teachers have a special role in the teaching of thinking skills precisely because of the centrality of language in the curriculum. The phrase essentials of English, as we all know, calls that teaching of creative, logical, and critical thinking is close to the core of effective English instruction. Now, one of the ways we at MBIS achieve this is through creative writing, story writing, and comprehension passages where students are taught to infer, read between lines, understand sequences, and sometimes even trace cause-effect relationships. For example, in grades 1 and 2, we have simple short comprehension passages where the students are given multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks, one-word answers, progressing to writing complete answers comprising of one sentence using connectors. Now, whereas in grades 3 and 4, the passages become bigger with increasing difficulty level. And the passages are mostly fictional passages. Here, the answers are no more one sentence answers. Here, the answers become longer using coordinating and subordinating conjunctions, and they comprise of inference and understanding. Now, when we come to grade 5, we have non-fictional passages and extracts from books. Over here in grade 5, the students have to write the answers in their own words. And sometimes they even have to give words and phrases from the passage to support their explanation. They simply can't copy paste from the given passage. Now, writing has been defined as a mode of thinking, be it the creative, the recount, the narrative, the descriptive, the informative, the procedural, or the persuasive writings that we do in the primary section at MBIS. Now, as Vasana ma'am said, at MBIS, we teach writing skills systematically in a spiral progressive way at increasing levels of difficulty. Now, how do we do this? For example, writing progresses thus. In grade 2, we teach them simple note writing where the students learn how to write simple notes of 2 or 3 sentences. We then progress in grade 3 to write recount writing, where the use of the 5 W's, what, where, when, whom, why, are used. Sometimes even how is used. Here they simply write 4 to 5 sentences and they learn how to create a paragraph. Going ahead, in grade 4, they progress to writing formal and informal letters. And in grade 5, they learn to write newspaper report writing and persuasive and informative articles. So that's how the spirally progress and learn to write different topics. Now, as the students progress to the levels, it enables them to build up and develop thinking skills. All oral activities that we have in the classroom also demonstrates and develops thinking skills. The various forms of pictorial expression that's done in the classroom, like the cartoons, the picture comprehensions, the picture compositions, they require language to make them intelligible. And of course, one can't but agree that reading is an active process involving the construction of meaning. So, therefore, as exposure to language and vocabulary increases, the students are able to shape their comprehension through questions, tentative verbalizations, and informal talks with others, and so forth. The student who is articulate in oral and written language has an indispensable tool for all school learning because the ability to give shape to thought through language is a necessary skill in every subject. And so to sum up, I would like to say that language, thinking and learning are integrated and interwoven. Over to Farzana ma'am.
Oh, thank you so much. That was very enriching for all of us. But before I let you go, I would like to ask you one question.
Yes, ma'am.
How is communication, which is a 21st century skill, developed in your classes at MBIS?
Ma'am, at MBIS, we facilitate and we create an inquiry-based classroom environment where collaboration and creativity is encouraged. Also, communication skills are developed through discussions and brainstorming sessions.
Lovely, lovely. So that was very well put. And thank you, Miss Annie.
Thank you, ma'am.
For your little piece on English learning at MBIS. Now, at MBIS, we use a variety of teaching strategies, even in our English language, For example, I'm sure many of you all who are in this profession must have heard about Howard Gardner and his visual thinking strategies. We like to do it. We don't tell our children this is a visual strategy and it's a Howard Gardner strategy. But as in our professional development modules, we train our teachers into thinking in that way. So let me demonstrate one thing. Now I'm going to I am no more the moderator. I am the teacher, so I'm wearing my teacher's hat. So let me demonstrate one strategy which we call I see, I wonder, I share. Okay, so I'm going to show you one image. Okay, now if I were to show this to my children in class, I would ask them questions. First is I see. Observation skills is so important. And when it comes intrigued as a very different type of picture, the children's observation skills get sharpened. So I usually ask them, what do you see in this picture? And every partner, sometimes I do think, pair, share. That's another strategy where we get two kids to be together and look at a picture and share what they are thinking and observing. Okay, so you'll get children saying, oh, I see a tall giraffe. Oh, you see a tall giraffe. Okay, and so what are you wondering? You saw this, but what are you wondering? I am wondering, how come the giraffe has reached here? So I said, maybe the giraffe was lost. Oh, or maybe the giraffe. So the kids come out with lovely ideas. That imagination which Lutheran was maybe developing in her drama class comes out in our English classes. So here the child tells us, oh, I think maybe the giraffe is thirsty. So maybe the giraffe has come for some water. Seeing the window open, he's put his leg. A third child told me, oh, ma'am, I think that he was a very curious animal. He's put his head into the window and now it's stuck. So that's what I am wondering. How will we help him to get out? The picture is not very clear, but at the back over here, there are some small baby giraffes also. See, so I got one child saying, I wonder, ma'am, why these baby giraffes are not with their mother giraffe? Why are they waiting patiently? Maybe mama giraffe is going to get some food for them. So you see the way their imagination goes so differently. And every child, see, these are the steps you will need to take when you want to make them do the writing, which Annie was talking about. Because how do you write a composition? You first need to observe and you need to develop that imagination in you. Okay? And then last is I share. So then they shared their learnings, whatever they wrote as notes, they read to one another. And then as a collaborative activity, they put all of it together and then they sort of share it with their teacher. This is what, miss, we thought about the picture. So if I'm a facilitator, I may start maybe the first picture I see, I think, I wonder, by doing this activity. At another time, I may just bring a picture, just put it on my smart board, and I would tell the children to start this strategy. And oh, you will not know, it's wonderful. One day, what I did is I brought a picture of a micro hair and I showed it to the children. And I said, now what do you observe? They went haywire, miss, it's the artery. Someone said they are the roots. And they went into different areas. Then I said, let's Google, let's find out. You're wondering this, you've observed this, so now let's see what it is. And then I took them to a site from where I pulled this picture, and it showed them it was the X-ray of a hair under and a microscope, and that's what they saw. And they were so excited with it. So it is this observation which we want to develop in our children, and which then helps them when they reach the middle school and high school. There is no time for developing these skills. It is, concepts are difficult and they need to be moving. And now, especially in this new normal, we will have to redesign our curriculum so we are able to achieve what we think are the basic cores, So there is another strategy which we call the zoom in strategy. Okay, the zoom in is, it's lockdown. I don't have my right resources, but I can show you this image. Okay, and zoom in means you show half the picture. Maybe I cover this picture and I ask the children to imagine what could be the other part. They'll come up. Then maybe I'll zoom the whole thing and say, wow, see, this is the full picture. What did you imagine? What did you write? And see what the picture was. Exactly, that's what I tell them. Your imagination is perfect. You cannot and never will be able to say the right thing. So then when you're writing a composition, there is no right and wrong. It's how you as a writer imagine. So, using these different strategies is what makes our composition and our English language program really very interesting and develops those skills which we want them to do well. And that's where our results at the IGCSE, IB are doing so well, because these skills come through our children from middle school to high school. So let's move on, and not the least, it's time for the icing on the cake. Wow, I'm hungry. It's evening time. With my coffee, I would love to have a cake in lockdown. And who's the icing on the cake? Let's invite our stalwart coordinator, Miss Priya Natraj. Welcome, Priya.
Thank you, ma'am. That was quite an introduction to me. Okay, we have seen all the educators saying beautiful things about each and every literacy, numeracy, about English, and you two explain lovely strategies. Now I'll take you to the important 5 core values of our MBIS. MBIS approach to teaching and learning is guided by our 5 core values. These core values are the cornerstones on which we build our vision and reinforce all that we do. Our core values are inculcated in our everyday teachings, as we all saw now. First, I would like to talk about learning at the rate of 1. The development of every student is very vital to us in MBIS. Students who are exceptions are encouraged to climb higher and to do better, whereas students who need help to come up to the grade level expectation, extra classes are conducted for additional support after school hours. Next value which I'll be talking about is academic plus. You must be wondering, what is academic plus? I will tell you. Our academic program is fully supported, integrated, and linked with co-curricular activities. Students are exposed to various activities like art and design, yoga, martial arts. Leading professional agencies are involved in providing expert guidance to our students. Speech and drama by Helen O'Grady International. We saw now how Miss Newton really enacted and just explained to us how the drama is taken up in MBIS. Martial arts by GK Academy, and dance by Shamek Dawa Education. Next, the most important value is for us is every child is first. At MBIS, our small class sizes help teachers to cater to the learning preferences depending on the individual needs of every child in the classroom. As Farzana ma'am spoke about Howard Gardner's different learning, like the kinesthetic learning, visual learning, and auditory learning. So we what we do is visual learners respond to images and graphics. So videos are used as a part of our teaching. Auditory learners prefer verbal presentation, and project work helps kinesthetic learners who prefer a physical and hands-on approach. So this is very nicely done in our MBIS. The next we would talk about is the most important value, that is open door always. At MBIS, we believe in working together with our parents and having an open and transparent communication structure. This is done through emails, telephone calls, or even individual meetings. The recent online classes that were successfully held is a living proof of the combined efforts of the parents and teachers. It not only went on to demonstrate how cooperative and supportive our parents are. And last but not the least, I would like to say the last value, high happiness quotient. As Ms. Farzana mentioned, that a child who had high temperature, he came to school because he didn't want to miss the maths class. So at MBIS, we nurture children's individual needs, interests, and skills by creating a warm, caring, and happy environment in which children can progress at their own pace by making learning an exciting part of their growing up years. At MBIS, together with parents and teachers, our classrooms are happy places. And though our students will now be studying online, remember parents, the teachers will keep this value in the forefront. So happiness always. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. So true. You so speak from the heart as you're a passionate educator, you know. Thank you very much. I have one question before you can go, and that is, you're part of the school leadership team. So could you share how MBIS is a very student-centered school, where student is the focus. The voice and choice of the student is very important for us.
Thank you for the question, ma'am. At MBIS, we make sure that all the lesson unit plans are designed and upgraded, keeping the students in mind. And the curriculum has a means to develop the skill that we believe, like creative thinking, problem solving, communication, along with life skills.
Superb. So MBIS is a mindful school with empathetic teachers guided by the director of school, Mr. Nitin Patte, who is not there today on the webinar, but who is our backbone and the spine, I could say, who helps us all, prods us along to achieve. And he actually doesn't need any introduction. He's a well-known educator in this vertical. So now I think as we're coming to the end of this webinar, I would like each speaker, before we take the questions, I would like each speaker, panelist, to leave some comment, some thought for our viewers. So let's start with Georgina.
Thank you, ma'am. To conclude, I would just say, children are not things to be molded, but they are children to be unfolded. Thank you.
How lovely. What a lovely thought, Georgina. It's so beautiful, you know. I mean, it's just that one statement, but I think we could write 100 books on that statement of how you implement it. You know. Super. Very well put in a nutshell. So center stage is all yours, Prerna. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. Sorry. I made a mistake. Thank you, ma'am. To conclude, I would just say that since I'm a math teacher, I would just like to talk about math. By the end, that math class is like a gym for the brain, where it actually sharpens your mind.
Oh, lovely. And I'm sure Georgina didn't talk about, I mean, there are reams of things that we do. We do a lot of brain gym also. So The lazy 8 is a very popular thing, and we get our kids between classes when they are too hyper. We want to calm them and we want the brain to go into the next mode. So we do a lot of brain gym exercises. A very good one which you could do is put your thumb out and make a lazy 8. Go very slowly and keep looking at your thumb. Do this with your children at home, and it really makes wonderful. I mean, you don't see the effect in a day, but if you do it over a period of time, it's really. So we do a lot of these mini gym exercises. Our children don't even know this is brain gym that we are doing. So we have the sports teacher doing the physical gym, but we do a lot of brain gyms. So over to you, Miss Newton. Passing comments.
Thank you, ma'am. So I would like to say Einstein's one thought of this, that imagination is the key to all development.
Lovely.
So
Lovely.
when we learn to imagine is when we learn to think out of the box and we aspire for more, and that is what leads to any development under the sun, whatever has happened up till now and what is going to happen later.
And
Imagine.
as you've
Parents,
seen,
let your children imagine. Yes, ma'am.
what Nutan and I and all of us have been talking is developing imagination, because we want our children to become the innovators. We want them to innovate. How will they become entrepreneurs? How will they do this if they have not given them that scope to think outside the box? For us, our school classrooms are there, laboratories are there, libraries are there, but we teach, our corridors are learning places. For us, we follow the Bala that the building, the whole building is used as a learning resource. So when we are in the elevator, we are talking about the speed. So some maths is coming in. Then they are mindful. So with the lift chacha, they are talking to him and asking him, how is he? How was his day? When they're going to the canteen, they're looking at the micro oven and they're looking at the backward counting, and they feel excited that they're practicing what Prerna Miss is teaching in class. They're seeing it in reality. So you see, for us, the whole school infrastructure is used as a teaching resource. And our teachers have, in the professional development that we've done with them, they use these different things very effectively. So over to you, Annie, for your parting comment.
Thank you. I would like to say that language as a way of thinking and learning is an essential element in every classroom.
Lovely, lovely. It's very essential because it's the means of communication. It's also the language in which they respond in all the other papers. So if they have the mastery over the English language, I'm sure other languages will automatically flow.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
of course, we teach other languages. As I said, we do a multiple of things. So we have a very efficient Hindi department, French department, and Marathi also, now that the government has asked us to start. So it's the whole language department is so enriched. Just to share one small thing with you, what our French teacher does, in one of the classes when she was teaching them, she said, this was much before the COVID-19, who went for the summer holidays and who's come back. So there were these two kids who said we had gone to France. She said, can you bring anything that you had brought from there? So they had some cookie box, they had a ticket, whatever they were small things, but she used them as a resource in class because she said, this is how language has to be taught, through experience. It is not some grammar which I'm teaching on the board and the children learn. It's this whole experience. We do something like a French cuisine day where we make French cuisine. Every year we do something different, We celebrate Bastille Day. So every language in our school is given importance, and for the children to get immersed in language is our main idea. So thank you. Last again, but not the least, Miss Priya, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Each of these components of the five core value influences and drives the teachers, forming a circle of beliefs and action, thus creating a strong connection among every member of the MBI's family that includes staff, students, and parents. Thank you, ma'am.
Lovely. And that's the spirit. Viewers, you will not believe, on a Friday we were talking about online learning. What if this COVID comes and hits us strongly? And Monday we were asked to close down schools. And I think it was Wednesday, we were online. We were doing teaching. I mean, our teachers are so much, I mean, just throw them in the deep end of the pool and they start swimming. And that is because of this whole idea of collaboration, looking at the team, starting from Nitin, who is the leader, to the coordinator. Everybody, you go with a good idea, they'll say, wow, superb. Annie, please do it. It will not be, oh, Annie gave me the idea, so I'll keep it in my mind. And in the next meeting, I'm going to say, oh, what do you think? It's a cool idea. So it's a whole community of collaboration, and that's where I think we succeed and make our children what they are. So thanks, colleagues. This minuscule peep into a day, I hope was interesting for the viewers, and it demonstrates why MBIS is called a boutique school, where education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So we want our kids to be ready for the world. Any questions, Ms. Priya?
Yes, ma'am. I have two questions. How do you integrate technology into the classroom and curriculum?
Anyone would like to take it, or can I take it?
Ma'am, you can take it.
I'm taking it because I can talk across the school, you know?
Yes.
It's not only the pre-primary or primary. For us, tech is not a subject, it is a tool. And because we use it in our teaching and learning processes, so whether you look at the smart boards in our classroom, the Wi-Fi campus, or the different apps that we use. And now when we've come to this online module of learning, we are using, and in fact, it's an ongoing thing. And now because now it's 100% online, we're going to use a lot more other tools in the tech department. And for example, there's something called the Kahoot, there is Quiz, and there are these Pear Deck. We use these different apps which are all free, friends. And it's not all about money. Many times a middle moderate fee income school says, tech is something for those rich international schools. I feel tech is when the teachers are motivated, when you have the whole system motivated, you can do it. You don't need high-end computers. What you need is a simple, and so what? Even a mobile can be used. And that's what many of our parents are doing, because if they are working from home, they are using their laptop, so they give the phone and the child is continuing his learning journey. So tech is very, very important for us at MBIS. Thank you, Priya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any more? Or
one more I have. How
yes.
do you get the student to increase their general awareness? If you can answer this also, ma'am.
I think Nutan keeps talking a lot about awareness. I think this question should go to Nutan.
General awareness about what is happening around them?
Yeah. So how do you get our children to get into that? That's what.
Get into?
Is basically to increase their general awareness.
So this is about observation. Like ma'am has said, observation is the key to it. So when you start observing things is when you start assimilating what you're observing. So the keenness to observe, that is also a trick. That is like the brain gym. So it's like a brain exercise. The more you tell the children that to be observant, and you cannot be a good expressor if you don't know what your face is doing, what others are expressing, how they're expressing, and how. So even learning to speak well. So we tell our children, now you should watch some nice, good English movies which have good English pronunciation. So don't just going for the thrillers. Thrillers don't really have a good pronunciation, but watch nice classics, especially the old classics where the English language is spoken well. So observation is the best way to create awareness about anything under the sun, whether it is thinking or what is happening around me, what is happening in my family, my building, what is happening around in my friends, with my class, in my school. So observation, I think, is the key point to awareness.
Well said.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I think we have answered many queries which our participants may have had, because in our speakers have touched upon a lot of points. So at this point, I would like to say thank you to all our speakers and also to our viewers. Have a great evening. before the Unlock 1.0 begins soon. And we're very excited with the Unlock because we thought the lockdown would still continue. So now we are having Unlock 1.0, and hopefully this Unlock 1.0 will unlock our brains, unlock our creativity, and our online modules that we will begin to plan will be much more. So though COVID and other issues, we may start school in July as per the government instructions. We will plan it in such a way that if something happens and we may have to go back to a closure, we are ready and prepared and not be taken by surprise as we were this time. So stay safe, stay healthy. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, ma'am. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.